This week on Unscripted, we are going to be talking about the latest on WWE Crown Jewel and where we stand right now. Plus, we talk about Austin Aries and the incident that happened at Bound for Glory last week and what's to follow. And that Fox wants big changes to Smackdown Live. This and more on the future #1 podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Unscripted. What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here again for episode 41 of Unscripted for your Saturday, October 20th, 2018, as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. And, of course, as we saw every Unscripted recently, we're going to talk about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, and the Mae Young Classic with only one more episode to go before we get to WWE Evolution. Monday Night Raw, if you go to check it out on the channel, we did talk about how it is rinse and repeat, as it has been for the last umpteen months. It's the Dogs of War versus The Shield in 3 or 4 segments overnight over the show. We have either Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus Ascension, or Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor, or Bayley versus Alicia Fox over and over and over again, and it's nauseating as can be. The only good part about Monday Night Raw for me, even though a lot of people hated it, was the fact that we got the truth about the Bellas spilled out by none other than Ronda Rousey. Which, quite honestly, if you do think about it, the entire segment felt more of a Divas era segment than anything else. And yes, a lot of us fans want to get away from that, but what are you going to do? WWE is again showing how the Divas era is more of the women's era is more of a Divas era with just, paint. They took the word diva, put a thing of white paint over it, and then painted women over the name. And that's all it is. It's still the Divas era. The last time, and this is true, it's been, I don't know when it was, but it's been over 2 years, if I'm correct, since we've actually had a women's championship match for Raw or SmackDown that actually did not have a blonde woman in it. WWE has something with blondes, and it's just ridiculous. The women's evolution is not an evolution. It is a scam. It is sham, and it is ridiculous. When you have Nikki Bella, of all people, being put into the main event of a pay-per-view that is supposed to be telling us that, oh, we're evolving with the women, we're making the women a lot better. And then you have somebody who was the quintessential name of like the Divas, and like classifies herself as a diva in the main event, just does not make any sense whatsoever. WWE is just doing things wrong in the main roster, and Monday Night Raw is just proof again why it is difficult to actually sit there and enjoy Monday Night Raw. Of course, we all know the 3 hour is a problem, and it's not going to change anytime soon. I was hoping Fox was going to get both Raw and SmackDown for their shows going next year, and we will talk about that later about what they want changed and my thoughts on it. But it's something that we definitely need to see, is that Raw go back to 2 hours, because this 3 hour bullshit is just enough. It is just enough. I cannot stand, most of us cannot stand having to deal with 3 hours. 2 hours is enough. 1 hour is good for NXT and NXT UK. 2 hours is sustainable. 3 hours is too much. The only time you should ever have 3 hours for anything is a pay-per-view. But since Raw is now 3 hours, the pay-per-views are all 4. ish, whatever, and it's like, it's just ridiculous. SmackDown Live was SmackDown 1000, as we know. There's not much else to talk about Monday Night Raw, so we're just going to move on. SmackDown 1000 this week, which had the Evolution making their SmackDown debut all these years later. We also had the opening segment, which was Truth TV, and there was news coming out that the original opening to SmackDown was originally supposed to be the Rey Mysterio versus Shinsuke Nakamura match, but it was changed to what we got, which was Truth TV with Shane, Vince, and Stephanie on it with the dance break. Undertaker was always going to close out the show. He was supposed to talk a little bit longer than he did, but due to time constraints, he was not in the time constraints. Cut him short, so we only got to hear 13 words. Whereas, like, I had at Crown Jewel, I had 3 words for DX, rest in peace. That was it. That was that. And they could have timed, if they would have did this right, they could have timed this right. If they would have had the timing right. Triple H was there for Evolution, but that happened earlier in the night, and they could have had Triple H come out and him and Undertaker brawl to end the show if they wanted to, but they didn't. They won with that, and that was that. Of course, Evolution did make a debut, another SmackDown Live debut, and Batista is the talking point of that, simply with the fact that Batista did hint at a Batista versus Triple H match, which would definitely be awesome, probably for some people. It would be Batista's last match and be a way for him to get out. Now, for Batista saying this would be his last match, I do believe it, because he does want to get one last run in WWE, do the house shows, do what a Chris Jericho would do if Chris Jericho was there, and then call it a career at WrestleMania. If it's for that, and it's just for a guy to end his career that way, I'm fine with it. If it would have been like Batista comes back, wrestles at WrestleMania, and then we see him off and on for the next umpteen months, I would be a little more effy about it. But if it's just him getting himself, if it's just him getting one last, big hurrah as he retires from wrestling to go on to be a movie star, then I'm fine with it. SmackDown also saw the formation of a new faction with The Bar teaming up with The Big Show. Of all people, The Big Show, who should have retired last year. Now he's part of the Show Bar, as they're being called. The Show Bar. It's just ridiculous. Like, WWE is continuously using the Big Show. Big Show, for his 1,000th heel turn to commemorate SmackDown 1000, joined the Bar. So, yay, but the Bar are the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, which I guess makes Big Show another winning another being part of a group to be officially another champion. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of bringing the Big Show back. If he wants to do the thing with the kids, fine. But having him just come back to do this is just no. No, thank you. And that was SmackDown Live. In that show, really not much else was there. You did have... hold on, before we say anything. Then you also had Edge in the cutting edge with Becky. And the one guy to try and talk Becky and sense into Becky that you bring in is Edge, of all people, who was the heel. If anybody got in his way, a friend or family or anybody, he would have stabbed his own parents in the back to get to the top. You're having this guy come in to try and talk sense into Becky Lynch. Are you kidding me? It made no sense. No sense at all for him to do that. It was just WWE, again, trying to push this thing that nobody wants. Nobody wants a heel turn for Becky Lynch. Everybody wants Charlotte Flair to be the heel, which WWE wants to keep her as a babyface as they move on to SmackDown, onto WrestleMania, so we could have Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey in the main event. And it's like, really? No. Ronda is the babyface, and Charlotte has to be the heel. What don't you get? Why are you trying to push this the other way? It makes no sense. Just ridiculous. absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know why they're trying to do this. Just listen to the fans. Yet they say Stephanie says they listen to the fans, but yet Becky Lynch is the most over woman on the main roster, and you're trying to portray her as a heel. She could literally run over a dog and over Charlotte Flair's dog, and the fans would eat it up. She could literally shoot Charlotte in the leg, and the fans would eat it up. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous that they keep thinking that the fans don't know what, like, they're still trying to tell the fans what to do. Then we had the debut episode of NXT UK. Was it a show? Was it the best debut ever of a show? Probably not. I mean, it was a good show. It wasn't a bad show. The first match was a safe match with Mark Andrews versus Joe Coffey. Everyone's saying the best part of the show was Dave Mastiff destroying some victim. Yes, the main event was stellar. The worst match of the night really was, I would say, Tony Storm's match, which really didn't seem to do much of anything for anybody. So, definitely was a good show. It wasn't the best show. I'm expecting more as we go on, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see where we go from here. We also had NXT later in the night with the return of Aleister Black, when he interrupted Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair and told her to tell him what she knew. She got into his ear and told him something that we, as fans, do not get to know just yet. Also, we had the return of Bobby Fish from injury, and it looks like we are getting the War Games match that I have been pitching for well over, I believe, 4 or 5 months. I have been pitching this since at least TakeOver Brooklyn, that we have War Games where it's going to be not a 3v3v3 like we got last year, which was a fine War Games to do last year. We will have a traditional War Games with all 4 members of the Undisputed Era versus the War Raiders, and Ricochet, and Pete Dunne. That is going to be a War Games match. I cannot wait till we get that match, and we will just have to sit there and wait. We still have 4 weeks to go, and it's going to be excellent. I just can't wait to see what happens. This is going to be the second War Games match for the 3 members of the Undisputed Era. For all 4 members, I should say, because all 4 members of Undisputed Era were in War Games last year, because Roderick Strong was with the Authors of Pain. Will they be able to top War Games last year? I think they can. But we will have to wait and see, and I cannot wait for War Games in less than a month. I think it's less than a month. So look forward to that. That is the only event. NXT TakeOver War Games is quite honestly the only event actually I'm looking forward to in November. I don't care for Crown Jewel. There is not much I can say about. You know what? I may not even review Crown Jewel because honestly, it does not matter to me, and I don't even think I care to watch it. I don't care to see Shawn Michaels wrestle again. I don't want to see The Undertaker, Triple H, or Kane wrestle again either, and waste our time with another 25 to 30-minute match of uselessness. It's going to be pathetic. It's going to be painful to watch. And I'm probably not going to review it. I'm probably not going to review it. And I most likely probably won't even watch it live. Just going to say that. So on November 2nd, you probably will not expect me to have a review up for Crown Jewel. I'm not even doing a preview and predictions because it's one of those shows that I honestly don't care. But anyway, we're getting off track there. NXT again, another stellar show. That was about it for NXT. And then, of course, we had the Mae Young Classic where we had the heartbreaking moment of the show, of the entire tournament, where Tegan Nox went for a suicide dive, not even 2 minutes into the match, suicide dive to the outside, and she destroyed her entire leg. Torn ACL, torn MCL, torn LCL, broken tibia, and it just sucks that somebody who came back from an ACL last year, missing last year's Mae Young Classic, gone and done again in no time flat. It is it is a shame that somebody as good as Tegan Knox is out already, but that is the nature of the business, and injuries happen, and we just have to say the show must go on. We also had Mia Yim versus Toni Storm, really good match. Lacey Lane versus Miko Satomura, and what was the other one? We had Io Shirai versus Deonna Purrazzo. All three matches that ended with conclusive finishes and minus the Rhea Ripley versus Tegan Knox. Those three matches were all excellent. I cannot wait to see Toni Storm versus Miko Satomura. That is going to probably be the entire match of the match of the entire tournament, because right now it is Miko Satomura versus Mercedes Martinez, because that was the best match so far. But only 1 week left of that, and then coming up after next week, and it's going to change, NXT UK, because of the way my things are going right now, what I'm doing, I'm moving into a new house, building that all up, spending time with my girlfriend and her kids. And after next week, NXT UK will be our Wednesday show. NXT regular will be put up Thursday mornings, where the Mae Young Classic is right now. So we are going to have a double review next week as soon as I can on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning will be Mae Young Classic, and then after Evolution it will be NXT UK on Wednesday and NXT on Thursday, because there's been people saying that after the Mae Young Classic is over, NXT UK will be put at 9 o'clock. That is not going to happen. If it does, then NXT UK will be put on Thursdays, and NXT will be on its normal Wednesday nights. That all depends after next week. But that was pretty much the entirety of this week. We do have news to get in here too. Before we talk about the big news, I do want to talk about NXT UK. Let me see if I have the picture down here, right? 1 second here. Where they did reveal new NXT Tag Team Championships. Hold on, they do that right. NXT Tag Team Championships. Look how beautiful these things look. These by far, I think, are the best titles. They certainly are the best tag team titles in all of WWE. They definitely trump anything you see on Monday Night Raw, Smackdown, and the supposed women's divisions. These are the best tag team titles out there. And out of the two titles, the North American Championship and the Women's Championship for NXT UK and these championships, these are the best new titles added to WWE. So anybody who thinks that tag team wrestling needs new championships, look at these ones. You got the Union Jack, you got the whatever the two lions, I think, whatever that symbol is. You have the two portions of the globe. NXT UK has got the best championships, bar none. Definitely wanted to show that off. Now let's talk about Crown Jewel. WWE did issue a statement on Crown Jewel with the fans not like this report last week that superstars within WWE did not want to go. They were voicing the concerns, and they said, and I quote, "As always, we maintain our open line of communication with our performers as we continue to monitor this situation. There have been that was it. That's all they said. But did anyone expect anything else from WWE? They're not going to come out there and say, "Oh no, like nothing's going on. Everything's fine here. Everything's fine." Even though they are trying their hardest to get this crown jewel to happen, but also not have any mention of Saudi Arabia. There are many reports over the last few days that about talent's concern over traveling to Saudi Arabia following the disappearance and murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Sports Illustrated Justin Barrasso also reported multiple members of the WWE roster have shared concerns over the idea of performing in Saudi Arabia and noted the nation's poor human rights record. The Independent Journal Review also spoke with a number of people in Congress who shared concerns over the planned event, with Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy saying he hopes WWE would be rethinking their relationship with the kingdom, especially with respect to events coming up in the next weeks like WWE Crown Jewel. WWE recently did say they were monitoring the situation. There is a new report also coming out about a financial hit if WWE decides that they will not go to Saudi Arabia. If WWE decides to cancel Crown Jewel or move its location, Wall Street analyst Eric Handler of MKM Partners via Deadline estimates that it could result in $2 to $3 million hit with their third quarter cash flow. Not worth it. Not worth that's chump change to Vince McMahon, in my opinion. According to Handler, if WWE decides to go ahead and completely pull out of their deal with Saudi Arabia, it could cost $12 to $16 million in 2019 operating income. Since the WWE has been so quiet about the situation, he believes they are still considering moving the event. Even though still, Handler has given the WWE stock a buying amidst the controversy with 12-month price target at $95. Continuing this on, yesterday, Crown Jewel was supposed to go on, tickets were supposed to go on sale. Those tickets did not go on sale. They had been postponed. Ryan Satin, the Pro Wrestling Sheet, reports that while WWE Crown Jewel tickets were set to go on sale yesterday, the on-sale date has now been postponed. Curiously, WWE.com now lists November 2nd as the on-sale date, which is the date of the show. WWE has come under fire in recent weeks after the disappearance of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Some have called for the company to postpone or to cancel the show altogether, as previously reported on WrestleZone. United States Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut, recently said the following things in regard to the WWE and the upcoming Crown Jewel pay-per-view. All major private interests should review and relook their relationship with the Saudi Kingdom in light of its continuing pattern of abuse of civil rights and civil liberties, contempt for that rule of law, and bombing in Yemen using the United States military equipment and possible intelligence. I would hope that WWE would recognize on its own conscience and conviction if there is proof that Saudi officials approved and ordered this kind of killing. And I would lean first on the United States government to do their duty so that it can lead to private interests like WWE. In the first place to look is to the United States of America. CNN is also reporting that Saudis are confirming what has long been suspected, that Jamal Khashoggi is in fact dead, according to CNN. The Saudis have set up a commission that will investigate Khashoggi's death and will have 1 month to release a report, according to the state TV. The commission will consist of national security officials, the foreign ministry, and the interior ministry. As of this press time, there have been no other changes to Crown Jewel, and the event is still planned to take place from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as scheduled. WWE said they were monitoring the situation. WWE has got to pull out of Crown Jewel. It has been confirmed that this guy has been killed, he is dismembered, and they did something, whatever they did with his body. This is a bad. If WWE continues to go on with this show, it is going to be a major black eye that they will take forever to get out of. If they continue this on, and it's embarrassing by WWE to sit there and go on Monday Night Raw and be like, WWE Crown Jewel on November 2nd, and just remove the mention of Saudi Arabia. It's either you're in Saudi Arabia or you're not doing the show. This is pathetic. WWE needs to pull out. You know what? You're going to take that financial hit, and it's just like $2 to $3 million at the end of this year. That is 100% that's just chump change to Vince McMahon. Yeah, 12 to 16 million next year is a lot more, but do you really want, this is something WWE needs to realize, is that sponsors are probably waiting for WWE to decide what they're going to do. If they're not going to pull out, I guarantee you sponsors are going to start being like, well, wait a minute. You don't want to pull out? Then we're going to cancel our sponsorships for you, and you're going to have to find somebody else to sponsor you, because I don't want any part of somebody. I don't want to be any part of what you have to deal with. And the senator who said, he hopes WWE will look back on their conscience and convictions. You do realize you're talking about Vince McMahon. This guy has sold his soul to the devil once, twice, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in his lifetime to get where he is. There is absolutely no way, no how, no sir, that Vince McMahon is going to sit there and care about anything getting in his way. It's just ridiculous. This is definitely becoming an embarrassment for WWE. They need to come out on Monday Night Raw, not just put out a statement, have Vince McMahon open Monday Night Raw and say Crown Jewel is canceled. The World Cup is dead, even though it's not even a World Cup. It's US. It's a King of the Ring without it being the King of the Ring. It's just WWE needs to cancel Crown Jewel and figure something else out. There is absolutely no reason to even keep with this going. Just cancel Crown Jewel and figure something else out. We have Survivor Series coming up. Let's worry about that, and let's not worry about this crap that's called Crown Jewel. Just no. I will keep you up to date on Crown Jewel as soon as possible. I'm hoping they will cancel it within the coming week. I don't know if they will. WWE just has got to figure things out. This is bad for all the world, and a lot of people I've seen things on there. It's like, oh, it's just a journalist. There ain't nobody special. It's a human being who was murdered, and there's no sweeping this under the rug. Just cancel Crown Jewel and let's move on. Let's just move on. We have Evolution coming up next Sunday, and then we have Survivor Series after that. We don't need Crown Jewel. Moving over to Impact Wrestling for the next few stories. Impact wants Alberto El Patron back. Why would you want this dude back? While Austin Aries may have potentially burned a bridge with this controversial exit for Impact Wrestling, we will talk about that later. At Bound for Glory, it looks like the company is looking to mend another, according to SE Scoops, the company is currently in talks to bring Alberto El Patron back into the company. He most recently left when he no-showed a Lucha Underground vs. Impact Wrestling event during WrestleMania weekend. Before that, he was a key act and held the company's main title. Impact believes that his personal issues have his due now and are looking to have El Patron return at the Las Vegas television tapings in November. He's currently training for a return to mixed martial arts and works for the mixed martial arts promotion Combat Americas as their president. Why would you want this guy back? If it's for a Hispanic audience, you already have that with Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. You don't need Alberto El Patron. This guy just a week and a half ago was on Instagram shouting off bullshit about his ex, saying she has a criminal record, she's been arrested by police, she's admitted to mental hospitals. This guy's problems are going to be his problems for a very long time. Why would you want to do business with this guy? He is not worth your time. You guys are where you are, and you haven't even needed him. Alberto El Patron is not worth your time. Just don't even give it a shot. Speaking of Austin Aries, update on Austin Aries and Impact Wrestling. This past Sunday, Impact Wrestling ended their biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory, by crowning a new Impact Wrestling champion in Johnny Impact, aka Johnny Mundo and Johnny Morrison. Johnny captured the title by defeating Austin Aries in a match that was the culmination of a controversial and heated feud, including Aries taking personal shots at Johnny's wife, Tyra Valkyrie, on Twitter. Almost immediately after being pinned, Aries leapt to his feet, stepped out of the ring, yelled at profanity at Don Callis, and left while flipping off the crowd. It was a bizarre scene that left many at home and in the ring scratching their heads. Was this real or part of some outside-the-box storyline? Now, this would be something Vince Russo would do. You think all the Impact Wrestling's working with Vince Russo again. But, and give me a second. Brian Alvarez notes in the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Live that Aries has gone home and will not be attending the Impact and did not attend the Impact tapings this past Monday and Tuesday. Since Impact tapes weeks, sometimes months in advance, this means that Aries will not be included on Impact Wrestling TV for a long time, as tapings are set to run. To the best of Alvarez's knowledge, Aries has not been fired by Impact Wrestling. This led to Alvarez to speculate that while aspects of the feud may have been real, Aries and Johnny are likely working together now. With that said, the press conference brawl and the two engaged in before Bound for Glory does appear to have gotten a little out of control, including one of the sponsors being pushed to the ground in the fracas. Apparently, Anthem and the sponsors had issues with how the press conference went down. Petey Williams went on his podcast and also did note that Austin Aries' contract with Impact Wrestling has come up. He is not signed by Impact Wrestling, and this was his last match, which makes Austin Aries look like a piece of shit. This is not a built-in storyline. This is not something that he wants, that Impact Wrestling wrote for Austin Aries. He was supposed to be at the Impact Wrestling tapings this past week, and everything that they had from him had to be thrown out the door, and they had to rewrite tapings. Austin Aries looks like shit out of all of this. Now, if he's back by the time the Las Vegas tapings happen in November, then it was all a work. But as of right now, Austin Aries is not part of Impact Wrestling, and he really looks like a even worse person as the days and as more information of this comes out. Austin Aries has been known to not be able to work well with others in the back. He has an attitude problem, and this to me looks like it is spilled out to his wrestling persona in front of the camera, which is never good. If Austin Aries is not going to be back in Impact Wrestling anytime soon, this made him look like total shit. Continuing on with Bound for Glory, there is the original opponent for Eli Drake has been revealed from Bound for Glory. This past Sunday, Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory pay-per-view emanated from the Melrose Bar in Long Island City, New York, while Eli Drake throwing down an open challenge. The fans expected to see a big name appear during the event, but it was James Ellsworth that made his way out, much to the amusement of the live crowd, much to the disgust, get that right, the disgust of the live crowd. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Impact Wrestling had to go with an alternative plan for Drake's opponent for Bound for Glory. It is being reported that Joey Janela was supposed to be Eli's opponent at the pay-per-view, and that the company had already planned a long-term program involving both performers. However, Janela injured his knee last month during an independent event and later revealed that he would be out of action for a long while. Janela said that he had completely tore and destroyed his PCL and MCL and an ACL sprain and several other issues. Ellsworth was easily defeated by Eli Drake during the pay-per-view. After the match, Abyss made his way out and put Drake through a table to end the segment. So, you took Joey Janela, and Joey Janela got injured. That sucks. Injuries happen. And the best you could come up with was James Ellsworth. Are you kidding me? Of all people, you went with James Ellsworth. Give me a break. No. That is no. James Ellsworth is worthless, and James Ellsworth should never be anywhere near WWE or Impact Wrestling. This next one gives me just it doesn't surprise me, but it also is definitely bullshit that this is true. Triple H does not think Vince McMahon has ever watched a full episode of NXT. How could you go in with the last 4 years and not watch your best product? Triple H was in London recently to announce the debut of NXT UK with premieres this past Wednesday. While speaking to the media, Triple H revealed that WWE COO Vince McMahon may have never watched an entire episode of NXT. The game was quick to point out that it gives Vince McMahon an outsider perspective to the product. I don't know that he's ever even watched a full episode of NXT to start to finish, Triple H said on Vince. Fear the Sun. He's busy. He will pick up a lot from bits and pieces from what he sees. To me, it's always amazing his insight of things. I realize he just saw a snippet, but what he will say about that snippet is a bigger overall arc to the entire project, and I'm like, that's really, really right. I think it's great, and he doesn't see all of it because it gives him a different perspective. It gives him an outsider view on it. Triple H also joked that Vince McMahon might watch a full episode of NXT UK, but he is very keen and very excited for the international expansion for the future of the business. So you mean to tell me Vince McMahon, the COO of WWE, the guy who is ruining Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live with comedy skit after comedy skit after comedy skit and making people not really care, has never watched a full episode of his best product. So that explains why he doesn't get Oscar. He doesn't get anybody who comes up is because he does not care about what happens below Raw and SmackDown enough to actually watch all of Raw and SmackDown. You have got to be kidding me. That just makes the entire NXT, it just makes everything much, much worse. That this is why people wonder what happens to you. Like, when you see a Johnny Gargano come up, when you see a Tommaso Ciampa come up, the Undisputed Era come up, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, even though Shayna Baszler will probably be alright because she's friends with Ronda Rousey. When Io Shirai goes through her circuit of NXT and comes up, or when you have a Bianca Belair, a Velveteen Dream, a Aleister Black, a Lars Sullivan, all these guys and gals come up and they become buried. You wonder why? Because Vince McMahon doesn't even watch his own product. That is sad. That is absolutely 100% sad. That's true. If it's true. If that's what Triple H said, that is just sad. That the best product ever for WWE. NXT is the A show, and NXT UK right now is the B show because it only had one episode and it wasn't a knockout of the park. NXT is knockout of the park every single time. And UK's got a ways to go. It is only one episode. SmackDown is the C show, and Monday Night Raw is the F show. Well, 205 Live is C, and SmackDown Live is D, and the F show is Monday Night Raw. So if you want to watch from best to worst in WWE, watch NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live, SmackDown, and Raw. And you will have that right there. But are you kidding me? If that's true, then Vince McMahon is a poor soul and needs to go. Speaking of SmackDown and things that need to change, Fox wants changes to SmackDown Live. WWE SmackDown Live won't be moving to Fox Network until next year. We are about a little under 1 year out from SmackDown moving to Friday nights. Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, is reporting that Fox will position the blue band amongst the sports block, with NFL football securing the Thursday and Sunday blocks, SmackDown taking Friday in the preparation for the move to take place. Executives would like to see the show have a sports and centered feel. Here's more on the transcript. Regarding Fox, because wrestling is being positioned as part of the sports block and Thursday through Sunday thing, Fox is looking starting in 2019, especially during football season. Fox wants the SmackDown show to be less comedy and more in a sports direction. Vince McMahon is more into comedy presentation with wrestling, but they are looking at having the sports people on different shows, heavily promoting it, and want to give them something athletically oriented to promote. So WWE has got a lot of thinking to do, and they want this money to come in. If they don't want Fox to go, you know what, fuck you, and take that money away, they're going to listen. And all this crap that we've seen with like pancakes, the trick or treat street fight, the Christmas, the nightmare, the whatever it is, the street fights for like Christmas, the the pumpkin fights, the food fights, all that shit will be gone because they want this to be as serious as wrestling can be. Look at NXT. You don't see comedy skits. You don't see crap that any of us would be pissed about and like insult our intelligence. They want it to be as serious as it can be. Yes, it's not a real sport. It's an art. Yes, wrestling is an art, and it's something that WWE needs to actually go out there and try and make more of NXT-esque instead of this crap we see on the main roster. And if SmackDown is going to be live, be more sports oriented, as soon as it starts getting praised, Monday Night Raw will follow suit. And hopefully Monday Night Raw can finally be taken off of this 3-hour bullshit and give us back to a 2-hour show. I would not mind an 8 to 9 show. or an 8 to 10 show, or a 9 to 10, a 9 to 11 something show. Get rid of this extra hour. It's just nauseating, and it doesn't help anything, and it probably hurts your creative, like, writers in the back as well. Hopefully Fox will get what they want, and will eventually have Raw and SmackDown becoming better than what they are now. Let's see here. We have a few more stories here, but update on WrestleMania 35 plans. We're about 6 months away from WrestleMania 35, as we all know. Of course, the biggest thing that has been talked about when it comes to WrestleMania 35 is Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Current Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair was heavily discussed to be the WrestleMania 35 main event a few months back, and it's still possible, but that is likely depending on how much more Flair is hurt by how the current feud with SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch has played out. Current WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns would be in the headline match if they don't go with Rousey, but there's no current direction set in stone for Reigns either, as is the case every year. The WrestleMania 35 main event will come down to what Vince McMahon wants. So basically, it's either we get Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, or we get a 5th year in a row of Roman Reigns, which is total fucking bullshit. Now, whose fault is it that Charlotte Flair is being hurt right now? All you have to do is turn her heel. You do not need to have a babyface versus babyface in the main event, especially a quote-unquote babyface Charlotte. No. Charlotte needs to go into Royal Rumble as a heel, win the Royal Rumble as a heel, go to WrestleMania to challenge Ronda Rousey. It's not that hard. WWE is making this sound like it's harder than it is, and it's not. It's real simple. We should see, for the first time, a women's main event at WrestleMania, and that should be Charlotte, a heel Charlotte, versus a babyface Ronda Rousey. If we don't see that, and we see Roman Reigns, again, WWE has totally fucked up. Couple of updates here on the Ambrose and Dogs of War and where we're going to right now. Let me see. Regarding the ongoing storyline with the Shield, we don't know exact details on what they have planned, which, as everyone knows, WWE tapes these shows a week at a time, so plans change all the time. So, let's see here. They do have a destination in mind, but details haven't leaked yet. Ambrose was set to turn heel before WrestleMania 34 for a match with current Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, but Ambrose suffered an injury and plans would change. There's no one yet if they are considering the Ambrose heel turn. But here's the problem with this Ambrose heel turn, that so you've been teasing it way too much. Like I said, I believe on Monday, when Seth Rollins turned heel, it was a bigger surprise than what this is going to be. Everyone's expecting Dean Ambrose to turn heel. Most people were not expecting Seth Rollins to turn heel 4 years ago. So, for him to turn heel now, it wouldn't be as special as that one was. That one was a complete shock. This one is just, we're waiting for it to happen. That's all it is. On a related note, Vince and the WWE have been coming up with weekly material for current program with Braun Strowman and Raw Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre with no end game. Gee, do you think? That's just how they do this. They have no end game. This week's Raw indicating the group is done and that Strowman may have moved on to the singles feud with Drew McIntyre after Crown Jewel, but they could end up keeping the group alive, as they often do with heels not getting along. WWE officials are very much into protecting McIntyre, as they want him to be one of the top single competitors in the company. That could mean they have plans to split McIntyre and Ziggler. It will be interesting to see who gets the bigger singles push going into WrestleMania 35, Braun or Drew, especially if they feud against each other. Let's see here. 1, 2... Okay, we got 3 more here. Okay, let me see here. New Japan looking to bring back WWE stars. I would not be surprised about New Japan wanting this, but these 3 are very unlikely. Even with how they are. New Japan Pro Wrestling reportedly has interest in bringing back 3 talents that are currently signed with WWE, according to Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer Radio. New Japan officials are said to be interested in signing Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. It is believed they all signed 3-year deal contracts with the WWE in early 2016, and there have been no news of renewals coming up. It's expected that Gallows, Anderson, and Nakamura will stay with WWE. When it comes to Nakamura, he is settled down here. Meltzer noted that there's talk of Gallows possibly looking to return, but that was not confirmed. Anderson will likely stay there here in the States as he has a family to take care of. Shinsuke Nakamura is going absolutely nowhere, whether he is being used properly or not. The dude just moved his entire family from Japan in 2016 to here. Do you really think he wants to take his kids, and his wife from one place to another in such a short time? No, not at all. So he's going absolutely nowhere. Luke Gallows, I don't know his situation. Carl Anderson just welcomed another baby, if I'm correct. He's going nowhere else, anywhere else. The only one that I could see moving would be Luke Gallows, but I highly doubt that. And people are probably wondering, what about AJ Styles? AJ is going absolutely nowhere. This dude is a lifer for WWE. He's going to be a trainer at the Performance Center when he hangs up his boots for one last time. But New Japan is going to have to realize that a lot of these guys are not going anywhere. News on Shane McMahon's status since he returned this past Tuesday. WWE SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon's appearance at SmackDown 1000 was his return to the storylines. PW insiders reporting that Shane is being worked into the storylines and will be appearing more on SmackDown in the weeks to come. All I gotta say is, do not overdo it like you did last year going into this year. Have him just come out and say a couple things, maybe do a promo at the beginning of the show here and there, but don't have him be all in the top storyline like he was last year at the end of the year and anything else, because it's just WWE is not going to be able to build stars if all you're going to do is just have him take over a spot that somebody else needs to have. Finally, we're going to end this here with Total Divas has lost a lot of fans lately, which, if you're watching Total Divas, I don't know why. It's ridiculous. But WWE hopes to save Total Divas by bringing in Ronda Rousey. Yes, WWE hopes that they can bring in Ronda Rousey for Total Divas. WWE may be looking to help the Total Divas viewership by bringing Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey to the show, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. The current 8th season of Total Divas has seen historic viewership lows for the show since it began airing back in 2013. WWE officials have talked about approaching Ronda Rousey to become a regular cast member. WWE may be looking to help the Total Divas viewership by bringing Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey to the show, according to the current 8th season. Yeah. Here's my thing. Give me a second. My throat's a little dry. If I'm Ronda Rousey, I'm looking whoever asks me then and there and be like, no. Why would I want to take myself and kill all my character and anything that I'm doing with my character by going on this show that nobody really cares about and nobody's watching? Anybody says, oh, well, they watch Total, like, if girls watch Total Divas, they can see that they can do anything. Give me a break. Total Divas is a sham. Hell, the first few seasons of Total Divas until they started this women's evolution, the Divas evolution into the women's, the Divas revolution into the women's evolution, they would say they taped Total Divas in January, in the beginning of February, and it doesn't air until August. Okay, so a scene from an episode of Total Divas saw Nia Jax and I don't know who's on the show, and Brie Bella had an argument on the show. in January. What would they do? We would come to Monday Night Raw, and you would see Nia Jax and Brie Bella in the middle of the ring, and you have Michael Cole be like, this match is happening because of what happened this past Wednesday on Total Divas, and then they would show a clip from the show. They've done this before when Summer Rae was still around. They had a match between Natalya and Summer Rae. For the simple fact is that in an episode of Total Divas, they had those two arguing, and it's like, are you kidding me? Who effing cares? This is not something I would care about. This is not something anybody should care about. Total Divas can go away. Total Divas can be canceled, and you know what? I would not bat a fucking eye. Period. I would not bat an eye. WWE needs to get rid of Total Divas. WWE needs to get rid of these stupid reality shows. You're not going to get anybody who watches Total Divas or Ms. and Mrs. or Total Bellas who is going to go, wow, oh, they're wrestlers? I'm going to go watch Raw and I'm going to go watch Smackdown. It's just not going to work. It's just trash. Anybody with a brain should tell you that, like, it's called reality, but reality TV is scripted almost as much as WWE itself. WWE can lose Total Divas, and I wouldn't care. Really short podcast today, guys. I apologize. There really wasn't much news that I could find. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me at twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I will be back here on Monday Night Raw for Monday Night Raw review and results. Again, I apologize. We got about 50 minutes here. There was not much else to talk about. But I will again keep you updated on Crown Jewel and anything else we can hear. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys soon.